I'm James, and I've got a story that's been burning a hole in my chest for years. It's about betrayal, revenge, and eventually finding my way back to the light. I'm not proud of everything I've done, but I'm going to tell it straight, even if it makes me look like the villain in parts. There's something about a good revenge tale that gives me a warm, fizzy feeling inside, like soda bubbling up. I know I shouldn't love it, but I do. It's one of the best feelings I've ever had, even if I'm a bit ashamed to admit it. This story, from my college days, is where that love for vengeance started, and it's why I'm writing it down now. I don't share it often, it's messy, long, and honestly, it doesn't paint me in the best light. But I'm trying to be real here, not to make my ex look like the devil or me like a saint. I want the truth, even if it stings. A bit of context: back when this all went down, I was a Division I soccer player at a mid-sized university. My life was a whirlwind of practices, games, and road trips to different cities every week. Soccer was everything: my identity, my schedule, my world. Around the same time, I was starting to spiral into a bad habit with booze and pills. It wasn't full-blown yet, but the seeds were there. Years later, I got sober, joined a program you'd find listed at the top of any phone book, and cleaned up my act. If you're sober, you probably get how us addicts can be, how our flaws can take over. This story is about one of those flaws, a dark streak that grew from what happened back then. It's not meant to be a pity party, though. I'm just trying to explain how I went down a rough path. Growing up, I was a good kid. My childhood was tough, money was tight, and home wasn't always a happy place, but I kept a kind heart. I treated people well, always tried to do the right thing, and took the high road, especially in relationships. I knew cheating happened, but I thought it was something other people dealt with, not me. I was naive, cocky even. In my early 20s, I thought I was a top-tier boyfriend, picking only the best women, so infidelity would never touch me. I had this arrogance, like I'd cracked the code on love. Looking back, I was clueless, but that's who I was then. This all started in my junior year of college. I'd been single for about a year after a 3-year high school relationship fizzled out. That breakup taught me what I wanted in a partner, and I was sure my next girlfriend would be the one, someone I'd marry and build a future with. I know, I was young and dumb, thinking I had it all figured out. Then I spotted Emma. She was on the women's volleyball team, tall and fierce, always at the athletic facility where the teams trained. I'd see her in the gym or locker room halls, and she had this energy that pulled me in. The athletic teams threw parties together, and I decided the next one I saw her at, I'd make my move. It happened at a campus bash, one of those sweaty, loud nights with too many people crammed into a house. I saw Emma across the room, and when our eyes met, she flashed a smile that hit me like a shot. I walked over, we started talking, and it was easy, like we'd known each other forever. We swapped numbers, and from there, it was that classic college flirtation, texting back and forth, dropping hints, playing it cool so the other didn't know how bad you were crushing. Emma was on a break with her boyfriend, a lacrosse player who was kind of a big deal on campus. Eventually, she dumped him for me. Looking back, that should have been a red flag, but at the time, it just fed my ego. I was riding high, scoring goals, traveling for games, and now dating this incredible girl who chose me over some hotshot. I thought, if she left him for me, she'll never leave me for anyone else. Man, was I an idiot. I was head over heels for Emma. It wasn't just a crush, it was like I was addicted to her. Every text, every smile, every moment we spent together made me feel like I'd won the lottery. I was so caught up in her that I missed all the warning signs. Our relationship moved fast, too fast. Within weeks, we were inseparable, spending every free moment together. I didn't stop to think about why I was so obsessed or if she was really right for me. I just dove in, blind and blissful, thinking this was it, the real deal. That's where it all began, and that's where it all started to unravel. Emma and I were like a wildfire, bright, intense, and spreading fast. After that party where we clicked, our texting game turned into late-night calls, then dates, then her practically living at my off-campus apartment. I was a junior, a couple years older, with a part-time job and soccer keeping me on the road half the week. Emma was a sophomore, a volleyball star with her own dorm, but she'd stay at my place even when I was gone, crashing in different cities for games. It felt like we were building something real. I was so into her, it was like she'd cast a spell. She'd left her lacrosse player ex for me, which made me feel untouchable, like I was the better man. Looking back, that was a screaming red flag, her jumping ship so quick, but my ego ate it up. I thought, she picked me. I'm set. Our relationship wasn't perfect, though. Emma was insecure, always checking my phone or laptop for signs I was messing around. I didn't care, I had nothing to hide. I was loyal, the kind of guy who'd turn down girls at away games because I was all about her. But her paranoia should have tipped me off. I just figured it was because she cared so much. We'd been together about 8 months, deep in that can't keep our hands off each other phase, when everything came crashing down. It was the end of soccer season, and I was hyped for 2 big parties, one for my teammate's birthday on Friday, then mine on Saturday. They were back-to-back, perfectly timed for a wild weekend. Friday night, Emma and I got trashed at the first party. We stumbled back to my place, had some unprotected sex, and passed out. Emma had this period tracking app on her phone, where she'd mark down stuff like that to keep tabs in case her cycle got wonky. She was an athlete, so it happened a lot. I woke up at like 5 a.m., still drunk, and remembered she hadn't logged it. I didn't want us to forget, so I nudged her awake, slurring, "Hey, put it in your app." She was barely conscious, mumbled something, unlocked her phone, and opened the app before dozing off again. Her phone was still lit up in her hand, so I grabbed it, thinking I'd figure out how to mark it myself. I wasn't snooping, swear to God, I wasn't. I trusted her completely. But what I saw next sobered me up like a bucket of ice water. The app's calendar was littered with colored markers. Red ones were her period, no surprise. But there were black markers everywhere, way too many, on days we hadn't been together, days I was in freaking Ohio or Virginia for games. My stomach twisted as I tapped one. It was labeled unprotected, with a guy's name in the notes. Not mine. I opened another. Same thing, different guy. My heart was pounding so hard I thought I'd puke. I went through them, month by month, and it was like a horror show. There were 4 guys total, including her ex, the lacrosse dude she'd dumped for me. Some months had a dozen black markers, sometimes 2 in one day. She'd been sleeping with them raw, keeping a damn ledger of it, while I was out there thinking we were in love. I don't know if there were more guys she didn't log, but this was bad enough. I dropped the app and checked her texts, hoping it was a mistake. Nothing obvious, but then I found the deleted messages folder. Androids had that back then. Thousands of deleted texts and calls, names I didn't know. I did a quick Facebook search on a few numbers. One was her ex. Another was a random dude. The worst? 2 were my teammates, one a guy I'd called a friend. I couldn't look anymore. My chest felt like it was caving in. I just sat there, staring at her phone, feeling like the biggest idiot alive. All the times I'd stayed faithful, turned down girls, bragged about my perfect girlfriend, it was a joke. I was loyal, and for what? I felt stupid, humiliated, like my whole world had been a lie. I wanted to scream, to shake her awake and demand answers, but I couldn't even look at her. The betrayal cut so deep, it was like losing a piece of myself. I kept thinking about all the chances I'd had to cheat, all the girls I'd said no to, and how I wished I'd done it just to not feel this pain. It's messed up, I know, but in that moment, all I could think was how much it hurt to be the good guy. I've gotta ask, anyone else ever feel like that after catching their partner cheating? Like you regret being faithful? I grabbed my jacket and walked out into the dawn, no idea what I was gonna do, just knowing I'd never be the same. I walked for hours that morning, the cold biting my face as my mind churned. Emma's betrayal had gutted me, and my ego, God, it was in pieces. I'd thought I was the man, untouchable, but she'd made a fool of me. Sadness turned to rage, a burning need to make her pay. I didn't know how yet, but I wanted her to hurt as much as I did, no, more. When my phone rang, it was Ivan, my teammate and roommate, a giant Serbian dude with a temper as big as his frame. He was crashed on my couch and asked where I was. I told him to keep it quiet, then spilled everything. I heard him storm into my room, yelling at Emma in his thick accent, "You cheat on him? Get out." There was shuffling, her voice mumbling, then Ivan came back on. "She's gone, man. Come back, we talk." I headed home, still numb. Ivan tried to cheer me up, but we were both too macho to get emotional. He just said, "It's your birthday tonight. We get wasted, find you some girls." Screw her. I never liked her anyway. Oh yeah, it was my birthday, forgot that part. We grabbed breakfast, my phone blowing up with Emma's calls and texts. I finally answered, told her I saw everything on her app, and I couldn't even look at her. She begged to come to my party, but I shut her down. I think she was more worried about her social status than us. Dating me made her somebody on campus, without me, she was just another girl. She knew if I showed up single, everyone would talk. That night, I dove headfirst into oblivion. A buddy sent me a birthday package from Colorado, weed, edibles, some pills, and worse. I did it all, sitting in a chair at the pre-game, 2 girls on either side, grinning like I was fine. I've got a photo from that moment, and you can see the hurt behind my shades if you look close. We hit a club downtown, tables reserved, bottles flowing. The drugs and booze were the only things keeping me upright. For the first time, I wasn't using to party, I was using to feel normal, to not feel the knife in my chest. I remember thinking, I want to feel like this forever. No one can hurt me if I'm numb. That was the start of a dark road. At the club, I told my boys Emma and I were done but didn't say why. I played it cool, like it was no big deal, and focused on the party. But inside, I was plotting. Revenge wasn't fully planned, it was half instinct, half opportunity. My old self, the kind kid who believed in loyalty, died that night. I didn't care who got hurt as long as Emma paid. A few days later, scrolling Facebook, I saw one of her volleyball teammates pop up. That's when the idea hit, I'd go after her friends, her team, anyone close to her. If she'd hidden stuff from me, I'd see how many of her people I could pull into my mess. I started with that teammate, Mia. She had a boyfriend, but I figured everyone cheats, let's test it. I did the social media dance, liked her pics, she liked mine, sent a flirty DM. A week later, she was at my place. I moved on to others on her team, including 2 from her relay squad. 3 girls total, 2 with boyfriends who cheated with me. Each time, I took something, a necklace, a hoodie, earrings, not to be creepy, but to use later. It was part of the plan. One girl left a custom volleyball jacket with her name on it, perfect because Emma would know exactly whose it was. It worked like a charm. One of the girl's boyfriends found out, and it set off a chain reaction. The volleyball team imploded, fights, tears, coaches stepping in. Their national ranking tanked, and the drama was everywhere. Emma was at the center, her reputation shredded. To top it off, the athletic department plastered my face on posters all over campus for our next game. Every day, Emma and her friends had to see me, larger than life, while their world burned. I felt like a king, cruel and unstoppable. The coaches got involved, but mine just laughed it off, said I hadn't broken any rules. The volleyball coach was furious, even got caught ripping down my posters in a rage. I loved every second of it. After a couple months, I'd collected a pile of stuff from these girls, maybe 8 or 9 items. I mixed them with Emma's things, stuffed it all in trash bags, and dropped them at her parents' house. I called her dad, who I'd always gotten along with, and told him her stuff was on the porch. When Emma saw the other girls' things mixed in, she lost it. I got a call from her, sobbing, begging me to stop. I just smirked and said, "You brought other guys into our relationship, so I brought other girls into yours." Poetic, right? It was cold, and I was proud of it. Emma took a medical leave, battling depression, looking gaunt and broken. The worse she got, the better I felt. I was hooked on the power, the chaos. I'd become someone I didn't recognize, and I didn't care. The high from ruining Emma's life didn't last. It was like a drug, thrilling at first, but it left me emptier each time. I graduated and bolted to South America, chasing a haze of substances and chaos. I partied, dealt, and lived like a ghost, avoiding anything real, especially relationships. Women were just fleeting distractions. I couldn't trust anyone after Emma. My life was a mess, coke, pills, whatever I could get my hands on, until I hit rock bottom. I was depressed, strung out, and tired of running. So, I came back to the US, crashing with an old teammate in a small city. I decided to get clean, swearing off the hard stuff, and maybe, just maybe, give love another shot. I was sick of letting Emma's betrayal define me. A few months in, I met Sarah on a dating app. She was 26, a single mom with a 4-year-old son, Noah, and a smile that felt like home. Sarah had burgundy hair, not quite red, and a laugh that made me forget my past. She'd just left an abusive marriage and kicked a nasty substance habit, so we were in the same boat, bruised but trying. We took it slow, bonding over our scars, never pushing too hard. We both had trust issues, but it worked because we got each other. Sarah said I was like the guy version of her, and I felt the same. We let each other be real, no masks. I fell hard, not just for her but for Noah too. He started calling me dad, and teaching him to kick a soccer ball sealed it. He was my kid in my heart. We built a life together. I got a job at a sports marketing firm, Sarah bartended at a downtown club, and we moved into an apartment. We bought a car, talked about a house, maybe a kid of our own. We smoked weed sometimes but stayed clear of harder stuff, thinking we'd beat our demons. I thought we were solid, open books with nothing to hide. Then cracks started showing. Sarah's shifts ran late, 3 or 4 a.m., and I'd wait up to walk her in from the parking lot. Our area wasn't the safest. One night, she texted 5 minutes before she was due home, saying she had to drop a coworker off. She showed up an hour late, eyes wild, pupils huge, like she was on something stronger than weed. I asked if she was okay, and she brushed it off, said her friend's car broke down. I let it go, blaming my paranoia from Emma, but it nagged at me. It kept happening, once a month, then weekly. She'd come home at 5, 6, even 7 a.m., with excuses, car trouble, grabbing food with coworkers, chilling at a friend's. Some nights, she looked high, grinding her teeth. She admitted to doing a bump of coke once to get through a shift, swearing it was a one-time thing. I wanted to believe her, but my gut screamed she was lying. One Sunday, she said she'd be home by 4:30 a.m. At 2:30, I called her club, manager said they'd closed at 2 and she was gone. My heart sank. I drank myself to sleep, avoiding a fight. Next day, I found a rolled-up bill and an empty dime bag in her purse. When I confronted her, she flipped, screaming I was controlling, gaslighting me like I was crazy for checking. It escalated, she swung at me with a makeup brush, stabbing it into my arm. I didn't hit back, just taped up the wound and walked out, my trust in her crumbling. I couldn't shake the feeling she was hiding more. A buddy was over one night, and I saw Sarah's Google Maps history on our shared account. She'd searched a random address when she left for work. I showed her, she called it a glitch, but I was done believing her. I grabbed a bag and checked into a motel, fighting with her over the phone for days. I wanted to believe it was just drugs, not cheating, but I couldn't let it go. After a few nights, I decided to try fixing things, bought flowers, and waited in our lot to surprise her. At 2:45 a.m., our car pulled up, but Sarah was in the passenger seat. A guy I didn't know was driving, and another dude got out of the back. They walked into our place. I texted, acting clueless, asking if she was home. She replied 15 minutes later, saying she just got in and needed space. My blood boiled. I crept to our bedroom window, peered through the blinds, and saw it, Sarah with both guys, in our bed, doing things I can't unsee. I slid down the wall, sobbing, rage and despair choking me. I wanted to storm in, end them all. Instead, I drove to a 24-hour gas station, bought a hunting knife, and headed back to the motel, planning to kill Sarah and then myself. But when I got to the apartment, creeping inside with the knife, I found her alone, passed out. A condom wrapper on the nightstand confirmed it wasn't a dream. Then Noah's door opened. He ran to me, hugging my leg. I looked at the knife, then at him, and put it away. I tucked him back in, said goodbye, knowing I'd never see him again. I couldn't kill his mom, he didn't deserve that. But I still wanted to die. I walked to a bus stop, slashing my wrists with the knife. Cops showed up, talked me down, but when I lunged at one, they tasered me and hauled me to a psych ward. I'd hit bottom again. The psych ward was hell, 6 weeks of isolation, no clocks, no contact with the outside world. It was like jail for broken minds. An attorney got me out on a technicality, and I took a taxi to a McDonald's near my old apartment, too haunted to go back. My phone was flooded with messages, including Sarah's. I called her, told her to meet me, no Noah. She rushed in, tried to hug me, but I stopped her. I laid it all out, what I saw through the window. She denied it, said I saw the wrong place, but I cut her off. Tell me the truth, or I walk, and you and Noah never see me again. She broke, admitted she'd spiraled into meth and Xanax, too high to drive that night. The guys were part of it. I stood, grabbed my bag, and said, I'm going to get high. It's all I've got left. She asked if we were together. I said no, just needed to hear her admit it before I left. 4 months, I was a nomad, homeless, selling substances at dive bars, crashing where I could. I dropped 60 pounds, barely eating, living on my own product. One day, I woke up in a hospital, seizures, organs failing, 6 feet 3 inches and 150 pounds. Doctors said I'd die if I didn't stop. I spent a month recovering, then moved to a halfway house for 4 months. I found a sobriety program, started meetings, and haven't touched a substance since. I got a job at a gym, lifting weights to rebuild my body, my mind. The gym became my sanctuary, where I could breathe again. 5 years later, I'm a different man. I'm 32, sober, 250 pounds of lean muscle. I run my own fitness coaching business, and I've been married 2 years to an incredible woman, also sober. We've got a life I never dreamed possible back then. After Sarah, I wanted to hunt her down, destroy her like I did Emma, but I chose differently. In the hospital, I decided the best revenge was living well, not just for show, but for me. I stopped blaming Sarah, Emma, or the world for my pain. I took responsibility for my choices, my healing. That shift changed everything. I spoke to Sarah once, years later. She's still struggling, but I felt no urge to twist the knife. Seeing her stuck while I'd soared was enough. I'm planning to reach out to Emma next year, when I'm back in her city, to make amends. My sponsor and therapist agree, it's part of my recovery, owning my wrongs. Some folks think I shouldn't, but I know it's right. I've dated since Emma, and yeah, I got burned again, worse than with her, but I didn't lash out. I walked away, focused on me, and that's what led to this life, sober, married, thriving. Writing this has been cathartic, laying bare the ugly parts of me. I hope it resonates with anyone who's been cheated on, who's felt that rage or turned to substances to cope. I get it, I've been there. But revenge, as sweet as it feels, doesn't heal you. It's a detour, a trap. When I went after Emma, I hurt myself more than her, losing years to bitterness. With Sarah, I chose healing, and it saved me. To anyone hurting, I say this, a good revenge story might spark something in you, but don't let it define you. Put that energy into rebuilding yourself. It's harder but worth it. I'm grateful every day for this life, my wife, my work, my peace. I turned 32 last week, 5 years sober. If you'd told me back then, bleeding at that bus stop, that I'd be here, I'd have laughed. But I kept going, fell a few times, and finally flew. Thanks for reading this mess of a story. It's not polished, but it's mine. I hope you take one thing from it: the best revenge is living a life so good, the past can't touch you. Let's keep healing, not hurting. My parents said they had no space for my children at Thanksgiving. Not my brothers. They said, we love those children more. When they noticed I had ended their support,